When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
On this episode of Bantha Milk Podcast, random dancing.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen next. Maybe we don't even know.
Sometimes we don't.
It's the Bantha Milk Podcast. Yeah! Pour a glass of that blue milk, we know it's gonna last. With Rob and James behind the controls, discussing Jedi, Sith, and all the plot holes. Every week we're back, can't be denied. Got the hot takes flowing and the canon clarified.
Yeah. What up, James?
Living the good life again.
Living la vida loca, as the kids say.
I think they might not say that,
You don't
but
think
let's
they
go
say
with
that?
it. So,
You don't think they quote songs from the 90s?
Ricky
by
Martin's from the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fully in swing and retro yet.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Dua Lipa's got to make a fit with that one, right?
That's right, exactly. When that happens, then we got it. We got it going on there. All right, so welcome to Bantha Milk Podcast, everybody. Once again, we are back. James is over there in Wisconsin. What's on your shirt there?
Mustafar?
It's
Mustafar. It's like a national park shirt.
Yeah, that
but
is
it's
fun.
Mustafar. So
I like that.
Go visit, obviously.
Go visit Mustafar, the national park.
Yep. Stick to the high ground is what it says. So
That is good. That is a good idea. And it's hard to see, but I have my Darth Vader ramen pasta.
Ramen.
Yeah.
I was like, you got chopsticks with pasta? Oh,
it's
ramen.
Yeah, and there's lightsaber chopsticks over there. It's hard to see over my left shoulder, but it took me 2 years to finally finish painting, sanding, and all that good stuff. But there is a Darth Vader 3D printed helmet over there over my left shoulder now. So I was like, I'm just going to put this together. It doesn't fit my head. It's too small. So it's not even like I'm going to wear it around anywhere. It's just going to sit on a shelf behind me. So you can see some 3D print lines and whatever, but I painted it a couple dozen times and there it is. So that's that.
Whatever. It's a fine addition to your collection. So
It sure is. And then for Father's Day, I told my kids that I wanted this helmet. But instead, I got the AT-AT driver helmet, which I already have one behind me somewhere. I'm hoping because yes, it's all the way at the top, way up there.
At the top.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, thanks, guys. And then later on, I was like, can we return that and get the other one? And they were like, that's the one you wanted. I said, no, I wanted AT-RT, not AT-AT.
It's such a big difference.
It's such a big difference. Easy mistake, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So I've had that sitting around here waiting for that to be made, even though, like I said, I ain't got no job, yo. I am one of those unemployed, well, actually, just a teacher, not really unemployed, just not working right now. Mental
we'll
break.
See what you say in a month.
yeah, I only have 1 month left. It's very disappointing. But that's my story. What's up with you, James? What are you doing? And what do we haven't seen each other in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's been so long. So life has been mostly uneventful for me. Busy weekend with friends and board games and the like. Next weekend, though, we're down in Orlando for a long weekend, going to Epcot and Epic Universe. So no Star Wars visit for me on this trip.
No, but you will get the what's the roller coaster in Epcot? The Avengers?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cosmic Rewind.
Yes.
Very excited for that one.
So it's funny, when we went the last time, it had just opened, Cosmic Rewind had, and they had signs up and stuff that said, no cameras, no recording devices. It's also a pretty intense roller coaster, so they didn't want you dropping it. I know Great Adventure around here, Six Flags around here. I don't know how all the other Six Flags are, but this Six Flags, if they catch you with your phone on the ride, they like stop the ride and make you get off the ride because you have your phone on it, because they've had so many broken phones and stuff from people trying to record things and falling out and whatever. Even if you have a GoPro with the chest mount and the GoPro's all in here, they won't even let you take that because it has glass in it and it could break and you could get hurt and whatever. Yep. So I found it very interesting that they are so strict with their safety protocol, and Disney is like, boom, 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 let's go. You have your phone out, that's on you. It's your fault, not ours. So I found it very, very interesting. But that was the one ride that they were like, you have to put all electronic devices away and stuff. So it was the one ride that I didn't get video of. And then I see like other people have ride-throughs and stuff like that. And I'm like, what?
Some people are sneaky or they find a way to make it happen. Yep.
So, so if you want, take your GoPro with a chest mount and just ride it on there, and they won't say anything to you. So.
I'm just going to wear my Meta sunglasses.
There you go.
It's fine.
Wear those.
So,
and when they tell you to take them off, be like, I got a strap around the back so they won't fall off.
Prescription. Yeah.
All right. We have, let's see. Should we talk about what we're drinking? Let's do that first. Once again.
Yes.
I'm going to go first because it's fast. Last one. This is the last
Hell
one.
or High Water.
Yeah, last Hell or High Watermelon. I'm very sad. It's the last one that I have. So
it is hot here today. That would be so good.
Yeah, it's not too bad here today. I'm very happy. It's only been in the like mid 80s this week.
Oof. We had high 90s and humidity today, so this is going to be that much sweeter. I've got a Mud Puppy Porter. From Central Waters Brewery here in Wisconsin.
Very nice.
So,
all right. Well, let's crack these Johns open.
Absolutely. That was a very light squeeze for me. You win this round.
I was late. I couldn't. My fingernails are all. I can't get underneath them. Whatever. All right. Well, cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers.
Tell me about your beer, because I've talked about this for 3 weeks in a row.
And it's the same as always, right?
And it's just as good. Yes. Delicious.
Yeah, this is great. Got that real good porter flavor. Not over the top in terms of like a chocolate or a coffee or vanilla or anything else that gets with it. Just a great mix.
Awesome. Well, that is good. I'm glad. I like a porter. I don't know about. I mean, I'm sure I would drink it in the summertime, but if I'm going to the store to get some beers in the summer, I'm not. Oh, porter. Let me grab that one.
I'm a sucker for the dark beers. What can I say? Porter stouts. I'm on board.
You're on board. And I mean, it is almost August, which means, of course, all of the pumpkin beers are going to start coming out.
Oh,
so
yes, they are.
We'll have all the pumpkin stuff coming out. So there we go. So that's that. So we got that going on. Why don't you, real fast, give a roundup of what's going on all the other shows?
Yeah, absolutely. Ears Up, the flagship podcast of the Ears Up Network, has an episode since our last one, Making History at Disney Resorts. Otherwise, everyone else has been too busy listening to us talk about Spaceballs, the new one that's coming sometime next year. So you'll have to dig a little deeper if you want to listen to the Supreme Resort, Puny Pod and MCU podcasts, Scraping the Vault, the Buena Vista Boys, or Fantasyland Draft League.
That is true. Now, speaking of Spaceballs 2, we got some Star Wars news coming up here, including some Spaceballs news. So,
yeah.
Star Wars news. Star Wars news. Star Wars news.
I'm very creative with my songs. Star Wars news, one more thing. That's all.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Let you know what it is and call it a day. So a lot of stuff was going on at San Diego Comic-Con about Spaceballs, which was a lot of fun. Rick Moranis showed up wearing a giant Lord helmet. Everybody was very excited for that. They had a little bit of a trailer. I don't think it was much of a trailer because they didn't want to give too much away. But what they did do, they did talk about the Spaceballs timeline, which was really funny.
Oh.
Let me see if I can pull that up real fast. Yes. So Spaceballs announces their multi-phase cinematic universe at San Diego Comic-Con. Phase 1, Spaceballs. Spaceballs, the second one, 2028. Spaceballs, Winnebago Nights in 2030. Spaceballs, the franchise nemesis in 2029. Spaceballs, Super Gulper Secret Wars 2031. It was all comedy, it was all jokes, but they went from just like Spaceballs in 1980, whatever it was, and then a big break to Phase 2, which was Spaceballs 2, and then they went all the way out to Phase 6, Phase 7, Phase 8, Phase 9.
All within like 2 years. I love that.
But so it's pretty funny. It's they mapped it all out. They had in the arena that they were in, there were screens lining the audience on both sides, and all the way around both sides were all these other Spaceballs movies that they were coming out with. Dark Helmet 3, Yogurt in 2033, Heroes of Druidia in 2035, Mog, The Last Day Standing. I can't see it that well. 2034, Spaceballs for Kids in 2036.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so all the people who are having kids now, their kids will be able to see Spaceballs, the kids movie, in 2036. So,
or just people are going to have kids in the next 5 years even. It might work.
Right,
for
yeah.
So.
2 or 3 generations from now, they'll be able to watch Spaceball Kids. So
beautiful. Oh, so good.
So that was pretty funny. They were hyping it up. They were like, oh, Rick Moranis isn't here. And then he showed up, huge applause. It was really exciting. They gave a shout out to Mel Brooks. He wasn't there, but then again, he's like 100, so that's okay. So that the Disney quietly debuts first footage of Ryan Gosling's Star Wars Starfighter. They had a trailer, and all it was like words. It just said Star Wars Starfighter, and then that was pretty much it. So I don't know if you saw anything else other than that, but that was the only thing that I saw. It's coming, next year? The year after, I think? I think next year.
I don't remember. I think it's next year.
Release date, May 28th, 2027. So, coming out the end of May next year. So, Ryan Gosling's hot right now, so it should be good.
Hopefully he carries it out for another, 10 months, so that way it can still be interesting. So,
yes, exactly. There is, coming sooner than that, Lego Star Wars The Mandalorian, a new special from Lucasfilm and the Lego Group, is coming to Disney Plus on September 2nd. So I always love the Lego shows. They're always cute and funny and whatever. And
they are.
Very sarcastic, or very
Yes.
I guess a sarcastic take would be a good word for it.
I'll be excited how they do Mando, because I think there's a lot of opportunity to be silly with that.
Oh, yes, 100%. I can see them knocking his helmet off and him picking it up real quick or something like that. The poster for it says, "Some heroes just click." So there we go. That's coming September 2nd.
And it's like Mando reaching into the carriage, right?
Reaching into the carriage.
It's just so cute.
With a little baby Grogu's little hand sticking out of there.
The hand, yeah. We love that.
We sure do. All right.
Great poster.
What else do I have? Oops, not that. Let's see this one. Over here, the latest. Here we go. From StarWars.com, this past week at SDCC, or otherwise known as San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro revealed a whole bunch of new Star Wars toys. So, real fast, they have the Star Wars Vintage Collected enters the arena with a new lineup straight from Battle of Geonosis, including Anakin Skywalker as a Padawan. He has a little hair ponytail sticking down. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padme Amidala, the Super Battle Droid, and the B-1 Droid Commander. You'll be ready to engage in aggressive negotiations across your collection. Relive the adventures of the Mandalorian and Grogu. characters and vehicles from the ongoing adventures. The Black Series and the Vintage Collection this fall. Notorious bounty hunter Embo and his trusty Anuba sidekick Kiabu make their Black Series debut. That like wolf dog thing that they have. Along with battle axe welding Rada the Hutt coming to both the Black Series and the Vintage Collection for the first time. So you can
go Stinky.
You can get yourself a nice stinky Rada the Hutt with giant muscles. Fett. That'll be very exciting. You can take to the skies with the Vintage Collection INT-4 Interceptor and Imperial Warlord. The Imperial Warlord, I guess that's also from... What was he from? He looks like... Was he in the very beginning? He was in the very beginning of The Mandalorian, I think. So you have him. You have, rest in peace, Baylan Skull. This looks like Baylan Skull here. This says Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord coming into the light. Maul's quest for revenge comes to the Black Series this fall. Mandalorian Super Kenobi, Super Commando Kybris, loyal Night Brother Icarus, and menacing Inquisitor Marok, all coming.
Okay.
As well as Red 5, galaxy-changing run on the Death Star, made the movie in 1977, and now is an iconic X-Wing fighter, complete with Luke in pilot gear, and trusty co-pilot R2-D2, brings this cinematic moment to the Vintage Collection. So vintage, it looks like the exact one that they had in the 70s. I watched a guy who restores toys. I watched him restore one of these vintage X-Wing fighters. So pretty cool.
That's cool.
Black Series roleplay collectible Spawn the Saga from the original Star Wars trilogy through the Clone Wars and into Star Wars Ahsoka. The Black Series premium roleplay lineup expands this fall with beautifully detailed helmets and accessories. Negotiate bounties with the FX-enabled electronic thermal detonator, so you can get yourself a thermal detonator. You can get Clone Commander Jesse's electronic helmet. You can also get Grand Admiral Thrawn's Deadly Night Troopers helmet with the gold faces.
That's cool.
And Captain Enoch. And then Rebuild the Empire, patrol icy terrain in service of the Imperial Warlord, Star Wars The Black Series Imperial Remnant AT-RT driver. Speaking of the helmet that I have right here.
What timing!
What timing. So you can
just time to add for your collection.
Yes, I can get the Hasbro toy with the trooper along with it. So bunch of Hasbro toys coming out. And then the other news that I found was that of Spaceballs. And then I Googled, I went to that ChatGPT thing and I said, what news came out of, what is the latest Star Wars news?
Oh, okay. And
they said, this is ChatGPT's quick roundup. So if you found anything that goes with this or contradicts this, let us know. Lucasfilm Publishing announced a new wave of books and comics at San Diego Comic-Con. New novels, new comics, expanding Star Wars Reads initiatives with Ahmed Best serving as program ambassador. That was pretty cool. Wars,
that just makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Star Wars Zero Company update. The developers confirmed that, at least for now, no new Game Plus mode is planned. No DLCs have been announced. And the game will not include romance options.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yes.
I mean, they said it's going to be like 30 to 40 hours of linear storyline play. Anakin Skywalker is going to show up. So there's a lot of neat things happening inside of there that it should be pretty good, even without like a new Game Plus mode to play it again with the bonuses. So I'm excited for this game. I wasn't originally, but now I am because I like the game mode style and have found myself really drawn to it. So.
Except for there's no romance. How can you play a Star Wars game with no romance?
That is going to devastate me for sure. So, yes.
And then then I asked about the books. It said Star Wars Twin Crossroads, which is Beth Revis is writing this book. It's the premise: Luke Skywalker begins training Princess Leia Organa as a Jedi while they work to rebuild the New Republic.
Yep. We've seen flashes of that in the movie, so it's nice that we'll see it a little bit longer And I think that times out really well as we're getting the book with Leia training Rey as well.
Yes.
So we can kind of see some continuity as those go together. So I think that could be really interesting.
It could be interesting. And then Star Wars Legacy, author Tess Gratton. Lucasfilm teased this novel during the panel while keeping much of the story secret. It's positioned as an important addition to the post-Rise of Skywalker. Hiding from the Dark, Kirsten White, a full-fledged Star Wars horror novel.
New topic, love it.
Yeah, and then Star Wars Celebration, publisher DK, is a large-format commemorative book celebrating 50 years of Star Wars, featuring behind-the-scenes materials, artwork, photography, and franchise history leading to the 50th anniversary in 2027. So there are the books that I found. Did you find any news that I didn't speak of?
Just other things from San Diego Comic-Con that caught my interest would be The Ninth Jedi coming out August 5th. You know, I'm excited. You are there. But, you know, it's a continuation for one of the Star Wars Visions stories.
Yes. I'll watch it.
That.
I'll watch it
You
for
sure
you.
will.
I sure will. We'll talk about it.
We sure will.
And you'll tell me why it's so awesome and help me figure that out.
I mean, I'm hoping, because the thing that caught my interest from them talking about it was how much they're talking about the like lightsaber duels inspiration that they're going with.
That'd be cool.
Not only like the prequel ones that they really enjoyed, but also embracing the influence of Akira Kurosawa, you know, foundational director for so many people of influence on that kind of fighting stuff. So that has me even more excited for something like this.
Yeah, me too. I also saw, real fast, I just saw it on Instagram today. They, at the Comic-Cons, they used to have the running of Wilro Hood, the guy with the Camptono.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So they would have the running of the hoods, which was everybody who came dressed as Wilro Hood. They all went like running through San Diego Comic-Con, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
This year they had the Andor Escape. Everybody who was dressed up like a prisoner from Andor, they were all marching down the steps. And, of course, I had it on Instagram, and then I turned my Instagram off, and now who knows where it is. But it was really funny. They were all running down the steps, and one way out. They were all chanting, one way out, one way out. So that was pretty funny. So I highly recommend checking that out if you can.
Incredible.
So
the other two I saw was a few more details on your Star Wars Experience exhibit coming to your neck of the woods in February.
Okay.
Guaranteed is a full-scale carbonite frozen Han Solo that you can pose next to.
I did see a picture of that, of their rendering of it.
Yeah. A walkthrough of Queen Amidala's throne room. And 90 vintage action figures spanning 50 years of toy history. So
that would be cool. Hopefully they have the Luke Skywalker with the, and I think Darth Vader had one too, with the lightsaber that goes in their hand.
Oh, I hope so.
Because they were, I feel like my cousin had one, and of course, I mean, the lightsabers got broken right away for anybody who actually played with it. So I feel like I knew somebody who had one. I never did. The only Star Wars action figure I had was I had an R2-D2, and I loved it very much. But yeah, so whatever. So that'll be cool to see all the different action figures and all the different toys over 50 years. Maybe they even have the cardboard that for the first Christmas, if your parents went to the store, they gave you a card that said, sorry, we don't have the toys made yet, but here's a card that says when they're done and they're made, you can come pick it up. Merry Christmas. So that'll be fun if they have that. I'll definitely have to let you know if they have any of that stuff. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on from the news, unless you have more stuff. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just one more with the Lucas narrative movie thing opening up that the unreleased Star Wars Detours is going to be showing there and only there, along with a few other kind of cool things. So an excuse to go back to Los Angeles and visit this, because Star Wars Detours was made in 2013 and it was like a parody of Star Wars by the people from The Simpsons. So...
And it's going to be shown at the Lucas Museum. Is that where it is?
That's exactly where it is. Yeah, starting, I want to say in September. I didn't grab the date for this one. So
we were going to go, but it's not open yet. So I was like, do we drive down there just to see the building? But we didn't. So it was pretty far out of the way, and I was just like, whatever. I don't want to go see just a building, even though the building looks cool in pictures and stuff. It's a pretty spaceship-looking building, so definitely, if you can, check it out. All right, now for the fun part.
We're doing news again. All right.
Oh, we're doing news again. Let's not do news again.
More news. More news.
I got more news for you. The new news is this instead.
I'm the Jedi of the week. I've been running it like I've been Yoda for a minute. Putting on a clinic with my homie Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can you feel it? I'm the field like a real one. Yeah, I'm the one like my first name was Anakin. My force got a panicking. Going hard like the mandolin. I'm manning it. I am.
I want to get to the chorus. I'm going to have to start it at the chorus because the chorus is good, but that... My name is Anakin. I got you panicking. I don't know about that. But anyway.
Yeah, a little too easy on that one.
Yeah. All right. It's your turn to do talking. Tell us about a new Jedi of the Week that might actually be from the Star Wars universe.
It is. And it's our letter Z, which means I've made it through the alphabet. And I can do whatever I want going forward.
You sure can.
We'll find out. Yeah, these darn self-imposed rules of mine. How dare I?
How dare you?
Yeah, terrible options. Embracing the theme of random tonight, for the letter Z, I have chosen a very random Jedi, a youngling named Zat.
Oh.
Zat was a Nautolan kid training at the Jedi Temple during the thick of the Clone Wars. He really shows up. Like the only time that he shows up and matters is when he and 5 other younglings go on the pilgrimage to Ilum, so that way they can go into the ice caves and find their kyber crystal and build their first lightsaber. So you'd recognize a couple of the other names we went with. Ganji went with him. Katuni was there as well. And then the other 3 that, just like Zat, don't really show up again or matter.
Never see them again.
No, but Zat had good personality, and that was, I love gadgets. What a weird thing for a Jedi, right? So he's the one that was wandering these crystal caves, not trusting the Force, but looking at his device, and it's like, well, there's kyber crystals everywhere, but I can't find one. Until he got too frustrated, smashed up his device, and suddenly there was a crystal right where he was standing. Turns out instinct was there the whole time, not technology. So he shows up a few times later. He gets swept up with Hondo, like most people do when he shows up. But that's a whole nother story. Not a big deal. Not on the council. Not a war hero. Not a name anyone's going to remember anyway, the case. But, yeah, just another one of those relatable kids trying to make their way in the Jedi Order. So
awesome. Well, that's a good report on a Jedi that we're going to forget all about before the show is over.
Absolutely will.
All right, well, before we get into the main part of the show, which is all about random people that you didn't even know about, or forgot their names, or didn't know they had a name, or why they have a name, is sometimes a fun story as well.
Or I just have strong opinions.
Or James wants you to know these people, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to come back with our top 10 plus 1 random Star Wars characters right after these commercial breaks. And we're back. I hope you liked that. I hope you bought whatever that was because it's definitely worth it.
Or just at least keep listening to the ad because it pays the bills,
Yeah,
right?
one or the other. Do whichever you want. Listen to the ad, please. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share. For those of you that are listening at home, you can go on over to our YouTube page, and you can look at pictures of all of these. If you don't know who they are, the picture on the YouTube page will definitely help you out. I just threw that right up over top of our faces. So for this next part, unfortunately, you're not going to get to see us. You're just going to get to see the pictures of all these people. So
that's what's really important.
That is what's
like I joked with Rob. They got paid to actually have their picture shown.
Yes, we did not. So the very first one is this little fella called Hammerhead. Now, Hammerhead was not his real name. Hammerhead was his name that was given to him by Kenner when they made a toy of him.
Yeah.
And before that, when he was in Star Wars in the movie, he had no name. He just sat there and he just grunted and talked and whatever. But his real name is, and maybe you know how to say it better than I do, Momau, M-O-M-A-W, Momau Nandan, known as Hammerhead, was a male Ithorian. And I really like, there's a neat thing about the Ithorians, if you didn't know. They have two mouths. Each side of their face is a separate mouth. So it doesn't go...
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, it doesn't go all the way through. They have two separate mouths. And their language is so unusual that they have voice train changers, I guess.
They got the translators that they put to use.
That's the word I'm looking for. Voice translators. Yeah. So everybody else can understand them because they can't speak basic and nobody else can understand their language at all. So they have the voice translators. But he's a male Ithorian who was exiled from his home world of Ithor as punishment for revealing the agricultural secrets of his species to the Galactic Empire. In order to save the planet, he spent his exile on Tatooine and sympathized with the Alliance to restore the Republic during the Galactic Civil War. Now, we saw him in Episode 4. He was first appeared in 1977 film Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, but was unnamed until identified as Hammerhead for his Kenner product. He received his name... Oh, go ahead.
I love that he's just a random cantina character, basically, of like, hey, we got this costume. Let's pull it off and throw it in the cantina. And eventually, little did they know, everyone in the cantina is going to get lore and get a story, get things to go about it. The best thing about building this absolutely gigantic, wonderful universe.
That is true. These people they just needed to fill the cantina. So they filled it, and now everybody loves all those people.
Yeah.
He received his name as...
We got to know.
Oh, yeah, yes. I know. Isn't it crazy? He received his name and backstory in Galaxy Guide 1, A New Hope, a 1989 Star Wars Legends sourcebook written by Grant S. Boucher for Star Wars, the role-playing game. His name and portions of his backstory were confirmed to be canon by the reference book Ultimate Star Wars, which was released in 2015. The character was portrayed by John Berg and Phil Tippett. So that's our first little unknown.
I'm trying to decide because, like, when we're watching Rogue One, Admiral Raddus goes, "Bring me a hammerhead." I'm like, is that like an offensive name for these people
Could
now
be.
too,
Yeah.
or like, are they just the inspiration behind it? But we never see them ramming anyone with their heads.
No.
So
No. Very interesting.
I just have
So
questions.
is it a mean comment? If you know, calling these people hammerheads, if it's a slur against them, let us know. Tell us in the chat or send us a message or whatever on Instagram at Bantha Milk Podcast or Facebook or all of that good stuff. All right, second one. This is yours.
Dexter Jetster. One scene, one diner, 4 arms, and suddenly fan favorite from the prequels. Dude literally gets shown up by Obi-Wan, can't keep his pants up, but this bestless chef is apparently also a really good information broker. He helps out Obi-Wan back from his old days when he was undercover, identifies a poison dart, as a Kaminoan saber dart. What's that place? Who knows? It's not in the archives. And yet, he gets an action figure. He's in one scene that is only somewhat relevant to the story, generally pushes the plot forward so that Obi-Wan goes and asks for it. And he gets this action figure that's got a whole bunch of different ways to chop up food. So
one for each hand, all those different knives and tools, one for each hand.
Yeah. So I'm like, this dude's got to have a great backstory. There's got to be so much lore to his life and how he knows so much and people trust him, but he's not on anyone's bad side on Coruscant. Like, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah. He's a cool dude. I do like him as well. All right.
So cool.
Our next one, Gunnery Captain Bolvan. He has one line in the movie. He says, "Hold your fire. There's no life forms. It must have short-circuited." When the droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO, evacuate the ship, which then we know the story. R2 gets back to old Ben Kenobi. Must be talking about that old hermit guy who lives in the desert. And the story is born. So if they would have just shot this escape pod in the first shot, we would have no story. That would be the end of it.
I always love the running joke with this of like, what, do they charge by the laser or something? Like, it can't be that difficult.
Yeah, it can't be that expensive to shoot lasers. Like, it always cracks me up when they have to reload their guns for lasers as well. Like, there's charges inside the guns, but whatever.
Yeah. They did explain it in the it's the stories between the stories, but I can't think of what that book is called. From a different point of view,
okay,
or something like that. They actually like try to explain how this works because it's like there's some sort of like accuracy business and things of the sort that they have to really make happen. It's hilarious.
That is very, very funny. That is very funny. Yeah, like it's with everything in Star Wars, right? You have an idea and then somebody else goes and retcons it to make it sound more feasible or whatever. So he was a human captain in Imperial Navy, Darth Lord Vader. We all know the rest of it. He had one line. That was it. I don't even think we ever saw him again. Was listening to the reports about captured rebel vessels while the last pockets of resistance were dealt with. Several escape pods have been jettisoned from the battle, and spotting another one, Lieutenant Hija called Bolvan for instructions. He spotted the pod unbeknownst to the Imperials containing the rebel droids R2-D2 and C-3PO, blah, blah, blah. So that's it. He had one line, so it made me laugh. I like all these people who just have one line or whatever the case may be. So there we go. So that's Gunnery Captain Bolvan. Your turn.
Yeah, Gregor. What a tragic story. Kind of starts as a joke, but then like just really punches you in the gut with him.
Yep.
So like I picked Gregor because when you think about the clones, it's like everyone knows Cody, everyone knows Rex, the Bad Batch are starting to show up, and then like it starts to fall off. But like Gregor was presumed dead after a disastrous battle and he crash landed, but he just had amnesia. And so he didn't remember anything. So he just went on to live his life. So just kind of did his thing, wasn't a soldier until he regained his memory and was found again, and then had to go and train stormtroopers until the Bad Batch found him again. And after Rex had helped him free himself from Imperial control, it's like there's so many things happening to this poor guy in his memory. Like, stop. So...
Stop doing this to Gregor. Let the man live a peaceful life already.
Yeah, and then he retires with Rex and Wolf until the Rebels crew tracks him down and needs him to fight in the rebellion. I'm just like, dude, let this guy go to sleep.
Yeah, they just keep bringing him back.
Oh, he doesn't stop.
Poor fella.
I know. And like, nobody remembers him. Like, everyone remembers Wolf because he was kind of a jerk, and everyone remembers Rex because he's Rex, but... Gregor.
But who's Gregor? There we go. All right, good old Gregor. Next one, we have Dak Ralter, which has a pretty cool name, Dak.
Dak is a great name.
Dak is a great name. Dak is the co-pilot for Luke Skywalker in what planet was that?
Episode 5, that's Hoth.
Yeah, on Hoth. He was the co-pilot on Hoth when they are going out in my favorite spaceships, the snow speeders. And he's the one that was able to, wrap the things around the legs and whatever. But he was a human male from Callist 6 who served as a pilot in the Alliance to restore the Republic during the Galactic Civil War. He was very idealistic for joining the Rebel Alliance in order to bring back the Republic and end the Galactic Empire. He was a member of the Rogue Squadron, befriending Thane Kryl shortly before the Battle of Hoth. Before the battle, he was very excited to work with Luke Skywalker. He actually had a line. Oh, do they have it in here?
Wasn't it? I feel like I could take on the whole Empire.
All by myself, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he died. So much for that. He served as Skywalker's gunner and died in the battle. Shortly after his death, the snowspeeder was shot down and crash landed in front of an AT-AT. Skywalker escaped the wreckage as the walker's foot stomped the speeder, crushing Rattler's corpse inside. So he thought he could take the Empire on all by himself, and he got stomped to death by an AT-AT.
Yeah, it didn't really live up to that dream.
No, he did not. On a related note to the snow speeder, have you seen the tattoo? It's on Instagram or wherever. It says the greatest Star Wars tattoo ever. It's just a line that goes around like your ankle over and over again. And then at the very end of the line is just a little snow speeder. So I was like, that is awesome. That's great. That is a great tattoo. So if you want something simple, you get that real simple.
Some people are so dang smart and creative. So
I know, isn't it crazy? So crazy.
Yep.
All right. After that, this is me again.
It's you again.
We have Kitster, Banny, and Wald. These are, of course, Anakin's friends when he's a little bad acting child with the other bad acting childs. But Kitster has the famous line, "You're a wizard, Annie." And then
it's such a good line.
It's the only good line that the kid has. Wald is the one that people thought was Baby Greedo, but it is not Baby Greedo because he was listed as being named Wald, not Baby Greedo. But
just another Rhodian. Just because everything is a small version of something else in the world doesn't mean it's always baby.
No. So these kids, we know what happened. They had very little screen time. They were there because they were the only other slave kids on the planet and all that good stuff. And so, yep. So Kitster, I can't even say his middle name. Chanchini Banny was born the son of smugglers Raki Banny. Raki was wanted by the Hutts, who eventually tracked him down and captured his ship with his family on board. As a result, Kitster and his mother were sold into slavery. So he's just another slave kid with one...
I always thought Kitster was like the nickname that Anakin gave him, not like Kitster was the full name. Like his name is just like Kit or something like that.
Right.
But no, it's apparently his name.
Nope, that's his name, Kitster. Yep, there you go. So he had that great line, so whatever. All of these people that you forget about as soon as the show's over, and I understand why, but now you know the names and we'll forget them. Hopefully it'll take you a little longer to forget them.
Yeah. All right. I'm next. This is Governor Arinda Price. She is like tale of two people because in one, she shows up in the 2017, the second trilogy of Timothy Zahn Thrawn novels, where she's kind of the extra character along with Thrawn, not the main antagonist, but kind of like a support antagonist. And like she's very capable. She actually like has motivations and is cold and self-serving and like does more than just climbs out of her home world to get there. Like she actually does things and is neat. But in Rebels 3, she's just the klutzy sidekick that can't really do anything. Like, but they kept her around. They thought that she was gonna like be killed off in one of the early episodes, but they changed their minds to keep her around so that way at the end she could go down with the Empire. that way she is never redeemable as you go through it. But oh, she's such a different person than in the books, and it makes me so sad that they take a character that could have been like a strong, interesting character. It's like, let's just put her in there. Why not make a new character that could be your klutzy sidekick, which is like all the people that Thrawn surrounds himself with, apparently.
Well, even like the Obi-Wan series I thought it was going to be based on the Obi-Wan book, and it was completely different. And so it's interesting when they take somebody from the books and then they just like completely change their character. It's so annoying. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Real quick, Avengers Hockey wrote to me because the chat's not working. He said Dak never brought down an AT-AT, which is true. I said that he wrapped the rope around the legs, but Dak and Luke never got to do that. He died before it was happening. He says he's going to be the fact checker guy, like in Pardon the Interruption. Yes, you are a fact checker.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so thank you. Let us know every time I mess up. James won't, but I will, because I'm less informed than James is.
That's a lot of pressure. So, oh, good. We're keeping me back to my pack.
Back to you. Let's do it.
Why did we do this to this character when you read the book and they're so good? The character. Phasma looks so cool. Phasma is like in these awesome poses, this sweet chrome armor, just super like fierce looking, and then they turn her into a total chump. And I'm like, come on, because like, you know, she's supposed to be this big like villain, maybe not the main villain obviously as we're going into it, but like side villain. Mm-hmm. Vader was a great villain to the Emperor. Like Phasma could have been a lot of that, but instead she does like nothing. Finn, a janitor, captures her with barely a fight. She willingly goes in a trash compactor, and then like she falls into fire later on, seemingly dying, didn't really do anything. Like, because it made me so mad, because that's when the Phasma novel came out afterwards, as well as the comic series, to give her something, because she needed something of how'd she get there, because like no one else in the sequels was getting anything. So in the book, she's calculating, she's ruthless, she's a survivor from the world of Parnassus, and like she claws her way to power and just kind of gets there, and it's like, she's not going to get that sloppy. She's willing to do anything to survive. Like, fine, she might get in the trash compactor if she sees herself losing, but she's not going down in the fight that she did. This is like what the Clone Wars was doing for characters, except it was too late that they couldn't redeem her.
Yeah, she was so useless and lame in the movies. You were like, what? This is it? Like, like you said, for having such an awesome uniform, the chrome uniform, she stood out. She didn't look like the rest of the troopers. You knew that she was going to be like the boss, and then she was the worst boss. She was so lame. She wasn't a boss at all. She was just
she didn't do anything.
She didn't do anything except for yell. Oops, I clicking on it, and she didn't do anything except for yell at Finn a couple of times, and then he defeated her. It's like, what? That's it?
Yep, that's it. That's all it was.
That's all it was.
Just a throwaway character like Snoke. What is going on?
Oh my gosh, that was a mess there. I'm surprised he's not in this list, but okay.
I only needed so many strong opinions.
All right, this one is my favorite newfound character, because when your friend was on, I forget her name, tell me her name. Jade, yes. Jade talked about her at the very end of the episode, and I was like, wait, who, what? And so this is really awesome. Cole Tackbright is his name. Who is he? Well, he is not what people said, which is the... oh no, my screen's making weird things. He was given the nickname for many years of Fake Wedge, because he looks very similar to Wedge Antilles, and... ironically enough, he was the original Wedge, the character anyway. So here's the deal. His backstory of, in real life, what happened to Wedge is Coltac Bright first appeared in Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, where he was portrayed by actor Colin Higgins. And then once I read that, I was like, ooh, we have to get him on the show. Unfortunately, he passed away.
No!
Yeah. He was first identified by name Dusty Rooster, a short story penned by Star Wars perennial Jason Fry as part of the From a Certain Point of View collection.
That's such a good name.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Can you get that on your license plate, Dusty Rooster?
I hope so.
Certain Point of View collection celebrating the 40th anniversary of A New Hope. In Star Wars Legend sources, the character was identified as being Wedge Antilles, but he was played by Dennis Lawson in the rest of the film, with both actors' lines dubbed by David Acheron. Higgins was the actor initially cast as Wedge Antilles. However, he had failed to memorize his lines for the scene on Yavin 4. In the briefing room, instead, expecting a production similar to television where rehearsal was common, Higgins struggled during the shoot and grew increasingly nervous and dispirited. He was fired after one day and was replaced by Lawson. Higgins' scene, however, remained in the final film, before the establishment of Tack Bright as his own character. The character in the briefing room scene was considered Antilles, despite the visual differences. But Antilles' appearance in the scene, incongruent with that of the rest of the film, led to a fan nickname of Fake Wedge. Lucasfilm Story Group member and author Pablo Hidalgo was responsible for identifying the actor's name and background in 2004. The unofficial fan nickname for Higgins' portrayal was recognized and introduced into canon by Jason Fry in Duty Roster, the same story that established Fake Wedge as his own character. Star Wars and Gerald Holmes stated that Higgins had been embarrassed to be considered the fake version of the character and made sure to praise him as an excellent actor. Believing that Higgins deserved credit for helping to establish an iconic character like Antilles, Mark Newbold posted an obituary for Higgins on StarWars.com on May 2nd, 2013, having learned of Higgins' passing in December 2012 from home. So there we go. That's the story of how Coltac Bright's name was created, all because Colin Higgins couldn't memorize his lines, and they had to fire him and put somebody else in, but they still used his original shot. Thank goodness. So now we have two different people. I wonder if the flight suit was the same one, if they gave Dennis Lawson the same exact flight suit.
Like, you can fit into this, right? So,
well, I mean, the people look very similar. So it's like they were like, okay, we need somebody who's 5'7", dark hair, light complexion, skinny build. They need to be able to fit into this flight suit and finish up these scenes. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's such a funny character still.
Yeah.
Can't get over that one.
Yeah, when she announced him, I was like, I texted you and I was like, this is my new favorite character.
You were so excited to dig in.
I was
great.
so excited. I was like, I need to know this guy's whole backstory.
There's so much goodness out there. So
yes, awesome. Good old Coltac Bright. All right, let's see what else we have.
Bright.
We have, this is you.
Yeah, Constable Zuvio, also named by Pablo Hidalgo, conveniently. So put to good use. So this is a Cayuzo lawman. So if you saw The Mandalorian and Grogu or have watched the Clone Wars, you're probably familiar with the bounty hunter, Embo. So we got that same idea. You can tell with like the hat and kind of that appearance. So Constable Zuvio was one of the leaders of the law enforcers of Nima Outpost, like the militia that they had there on Jakku. He's got a name, a backstory, a visual dictionary entries. I think there's even like a Black Series action figure. But you have to comb the movie to see he's either not there or in 4 frames of the movie, depending on who you ask.
That is so funny.
Like, there he is, but not really. So people are looking around trying to find him. He got name dropped in The Mandalorian and might have shown up in the background twice of that one as well. So there's all this lore and everything going with this Constable Zuvio, only to never actually show up in the movie he was made
in
for.
The movie at all. That is really, really funny.
Yep.
So your goal now, your mission, is to watch the movie and see if you can find him in it. We have this one picture here, which looks like this might have been him for that split second.
I think that's a deleted scene,
Oh.
if anything, even in the movie.
Oh my
So I was
gosh.
like, I'm shocked that there is even an image out there beyond just the toy set from it. And I'm just like, look, they made a toy. They were all in on this random character.
That's so
And
funny. And he never showed up in the movie ever. That is awesome. That is great. That is a great story.
couldn't believe it.
All right, let's see what we have next. Is this the last one? I think this is the last one.
This is the last one.
This is a bonus one because my good friend David, who we've seen, he's been on the show when we do the Around the Dejeric table. When I posted that we're talking about random people, he said there better be 15 minutes on Ben Quadineros.
Quadineros. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Ben Quadineros. So
Quadineros, yeah.
who is Ben Quadineros, you ask? Good question. He was one of the pod racer pilots.
He sure was.
And I love the Wikipedia's definition, or Wikipedia's story about him. He's an inexperienced Tanug pod racer.
Toong.
There's an N in there. Toong.
There is.
Pod racer pilot who raced on the amateur circuits before entering the Boont and Eve Classic pod race on the planet Tatooine and 32 BBY.
Which is great because everyone talks about how deadly that one is. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just do it. No problem.
I'll just do it. I'll just join. I'll sign up for it. It's okay.
Yep.
He rented a BT 310 Quadra pod racer for the competition. And prior to the race, he conversed with fellow racer Team 2 Pagalices in the hangar of the Mos Espa Grand Arena. On the day of the race, Quadineros waved to the cheering crowd as his name was announced by the racer's commentator. I'm not even going to say these names. However, when the Hutt crime lord Jabba signaled for the competition to begin, Quadineros' vehicle stalled on the starting grid.
Yeah, it was tragic for him.
It was tragic because then
It was him and Anakin just hanging out.
sitting there while everybody else drove away. He hammered his fist against his vehicle as a group of dumb series pit droids attended to it, although to no avail. As the rest of the racers neared the end of the first lap, Quadineros' engines finally ignited just as the vehicle's energy binders deactivated. The four engines thus flew free of the vehicle and exploded, leaving Quadineros sat on the floor of the arena as the other pilots raced past. So there we go. So he... It's funny. It has his pronouns. He, him. Interesting.
Oh,
Height,
very nice,
1.63 meters tall. Yep. So he was the worst pilot of the pod racer pilots because his ship wouldn't even start for him.
Yeah, that really wasn't great for him. So I feel for him as he kind of goes through that one. I'm curious how much he's going to show up in the Star Wars pod racing game that they just announced to kind of go out there. I'm like, you've seen a lot of Sebulba, but why not Ben Quadineros?
Yes. Oh my gosh, he'll be funny. Hopefully he will. Well, maybe it'll be like Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the old Nintendo. You'll have to race him first in the first round because he's an amateur racer.
And he just won't even start.
And he won't even
win
start
automatically. So yeah, it's perfect. I love this.
I do. I always questioned the validity of that race because Anakin Skywalker's ship was pod racer was very, very far behind, and he somehow managed to catch up. But then once he caught up, he couldn't expand the lead as fast as he caught up to them. I always wondered.
Yeah, it's called plot.
Oh,
so,
right. Okay. Yes. I forgot. It's just a movie.
Just a movie.
It's just a movie. It's not real.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's 11 because we gave you a bonus one. 11
bonus.
11 random Star Wars characters that you probably forgot already because they were so easily forgettable.
Or you need to go read the book about them.
Yes. Go read the Ben Quadinaros book. It's a really good book all about
yes.
about his life as a pod racer. I want to know what his real job is.
He's just rich.
He's just rich, and it's so funny. It'd be so funny. But anywho, yeah. So the Phasma book, way better than the Phasma character. The Hammerhead. I did look up Pablo Hidalgo also because he is an author at Lucasfilm. He has been identified as Senior Creative Executive Franchise Story Figure. That's
a long title.
That is a title. That's a title I want to put on my business card.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Senior Creative Executive Franchise Story Figure and member of the Lucasfilm Story Group. He was often referred to as the Star Wars lore advisor by the time of the release of Obi-Wan Kenobi. In addition to his Star Wars work, Hidalgo has written or co-authored reference guides for both G.I. Joe and Transformers. So he likes looking up research. All right. Well, we cut it right at an hour. It's not too bad. We did.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
We did pretty good there. So I think we could call it a day. This is fun. This is quick. If you have any ideas for us for show topics, since there's no new movies or shows or anything coming out until September.
There's a show next week.
There's that show. There's a show James is excited about next week. It'll be interesting. It'll be cool to see.
Don't make me suggest we're gonna start reviewing Star Wars Resistance after that.
Oh, so I didn't. Star Wars Resistance. Star Wars Resistance to me was more of like a pre-teen Star Wars show. It did what it was supposed to do. It was cute.
Oh, it totally did.
It was fun. It was cute, but it wasn't. It didn't have that same grasp that Rebels or Clone Wars of an animated show has. So, but we could go over it if you really wanted to. Lose all of our listeners in the process, but sure, go right ahead.
This could be fun.
It could be fun. All right. Well, next week, the 9th Jedi. We will have a good review of what. Do you know if they're doing weekly or are they releasing the whole thing at once? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I guess we'll find out before the next episode.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, then, from all of us here at Bantha Milk Podcast, we have spoken.
We have spoken.